Like all women, immigrant women are at high risk for domestic violence, but they also face additional challenges in a country that is unfamiliar to them. To survive domestic violence, immigrant women must navigate language barriers, cultural differences, and social isolation. They also often lack financial resources due to their inability to pursue legal employment. Although U.S. law provides specific protections for immigrant women who are victims of domestic violence, they often mistakenly believe they have no control of their rights and no way to obtain legal status independently. 5 courageous women have agreed to share their stories in order to assist immigrant women and their advocates in navigating the road to independence. They describe the unique hurdles immigrant survivors of domestic violence face in escaping abusive circumstances, accessing social and legal services, and obtaining legal immigration status.
And everything was very nice, and I didn't know later on I could have the life like a nightmare. He just lied to me, and he just forced me to get money from my parents. He was very controlling. I couldn't use even internet. I couldn't write emails because he had to check everything. He told me he should know all passwords I have for my emails and who do I talk to. And I was scared because he always said he will kick us out of this country, me and my family. This police officer had told me, if you want to still be alive, go to get the protection order. If you will go back to the house, one day you may lose your life.
When this client came to see me, she was unable to speak. She cried constantly every time she tried to explain what was happening to her. The abuse was prevalent at the time, and she had already filed several police reports against her spouse, and she had 2 protection from abuse orders against him, but he continued to harass her and stalk her. So when she came to our agency, we did safety planning with her to ensure that she was going to be safe going back home and while she was inside the house. We also refer her to an agency here in Philadelphia where she was able to get free counseling.
Immigrant victims of domestic violence face serious danger from abusive partners that requires effective safety planning. A safety plan helps clients to remain safe while in the home, to file protective orders as necessary, and to be ready for an unplanned departure. In addition to preparing personal items, clients should be encouraged to gather and secure important identification documents and evidence of abuse.
I would advise to that woman, first thing, call police. If they are scared to call police, they should call to hotline. There are a lot of emergency numbers from Women Against Abuse or Lutheran Settlement House. They providing a lot of services.
So bad, you know. I go breeding, I come back, he stay home. If I come in, he's take the money. If I don't want to give the money, he's hate me. I don't want to stay together to him, but I don't have choice. I don't know where to go. I cannot pay rent.
the husband will take their money and not allow them to be able to keep that for themselves. So there really are significant issues and concerns that if they were to leave this husband, that they would really be at a loss with being able to provide for their children and for themselves.
When he's hit me, the people who's here ice cream and they call police coming. But before the police coming, he's take the money and he's take the paper, his paper, everything he's need, he's take it, he's go. And the police come in, meet me to the hospital, and they check my baby, and the doctor say my baby gonna come in born early.
The first time I met Aisha was at Children's Hospital in the newborn intensive care unit 6 years ago. And at that time, her son was born prematurely, 25 weeks. 40 weeks is a normal gestation. So he was very, very ill, was at life and death for months when he first came to the hospital, and was actually inpatient for 11 months.
It's cold outside, very cold, snow. And I don't have jacket, I don't have socks, and I don't have money for take the bus for go hospital. And I'm hungry. The children hungry, no food.
Aisha and I worked very hard and a long time together in trying to get community supports for her and for her family, supports that she desperately needed. Once I realized that she didn't even have bus money to be able to get to the hospital, and she was coming in the winter, in the cold, we were able to then provide her with tokens, provide her with financial support, went to the Department of Public Welfare so that her children ended up getting insurance, made it possible for her to get food stamps and to be able to feed her family.
When Deborah sent me to the family support people, they come into the lady come in my house, she's taking me to go to the welfare. If we go over there, it's trouble too, because they keep saying no. They cannot help me because I don't have ID, I'm not legal here. Lot of time, like almost 9-10 times. We go for only for half food stamp they don't want to give me. And the children born here.
U.S. immigration law provides several protections for legal and undocumented immigrants who have been a victim of a crime. Since victims are often unaware of these protections, frontline workers serve as a critical resource for immigrant survivors of domestic violence seeking to obtain legal status. The U visa provides legal relief for victims of domestic violence and other crimes who have suffered substantial harm and cooperated with government officials in the investigation or prosecution of the offenders. Approved U visa applicants are placed in deferred action status and are eligible to apply for work authorization.
I explained to them everything, and they help me for have work authorization card. And I go find job. Now I have job. When I have my ID, I have job. I start working for help my children.
When I arrived, he was completely different. I stay whole day with no phone. I see no windows. Everything is different for me. You know, I don't know anything. Like, I don't know any street. I have to go and come back. My brother asked him, why you hit her? Why you hit her? Because that's why you don't have a phone, because she don't want to call, she can't call the police, or she can't call anybody to help her. You're not allowed, whatever happened. If you don't want her, just leave her. He said, no, she's my wife and she's gonna stay here. If you take her with you, I'm gonna call the immigration. So after, I think, 2 months or 3 months, I find the immigration sent me deportation form.
By the time I met with this client, she had been already placed in removal proceedings. So the deportation process started in her case. That complicated things a little bit more for us, but we were still able to file a self-petition in her case.
Under the Violence Against Women Act, immigrant survivors of domestic violence can self-petition to gain legal status. This provision empowers them to leave abusive spouses and partners even if their current path to citizenship is through family-based immigration originally sponsored by their abusers. Both the U-Visa and VAWA processes require official documentation. In Philadelphia, Domestic Violence Form 7548 documenting abuse must be available to any domestic violence victim who requests a copy free of charge and without delay. Under VAWA, battery and extreme cruelty can be proved through a client affidavit, protection order, medical records, or letter from a domestic violence counselor. Once again, frontline professionals, police, lawyers, judges, social workers, and doctors are uniquely positioned to assist immigrant survivors of domestic violence by accurately documenting the abuse they experienced.
Now sometimes they ask me, Mommy, now we okay? Mommy, now we okay? See, Mommy, before we now okay. Before is hard, Mommy. You cry. Lar, I say, yeah, I cry. You know, anytime I cry, he's asking me, Mommy, what happened? You cry. Why you cry? Don't cry, Mommy, you gonna be okay.
I rent the apartment again, and I been to the school to do like assistant nurse, just for working, and I put my daughter in daycare, and I buy car. I do everything I want now. So I enjoy my time. Actually, I forget everything. I try to forget. You see, I am not crying, so I'm done. I'm good.
I met someone who helped me, who advised me. So I started going for counseling. It really helped. That made me stronger, and they helped me to recognize when someone is abusive.